POPAVIST made smoother than your smoothest criminal. Shamo, about that money, what we get into. Shamo, about that money, get residuals. Shamo.
Yes. Yes, 2 times. Y'all know the vibes. They go, ooh la la, ah wee wee. She go, ooh la la, ah wee wee. We go, ooh la la, ah wee wee. They go, ooh la la, ah wee wee. 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 She never get older. Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop out of the bed like where's the... What it do, people? You're now tuned in. POPAVIST. POPAVIST TV. That's my show. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic. That feeling back up in here one more again. So if it's your first time, then please come on in. Over here, we deal with sports, hip-hop, interviews, popavisms, 101, and motivation. If that sounds like your cup of tea, something you can rock with, then before you exit, hit stage left on the kid, kindly hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, so when I upload the videos, you get alerted. Yeah. And if it's not your first time, thank you. But you know how we do. You know how I start the show. Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. We in the end game. We in the end game because it was just a wild, crazy shooting in Queens. You know what I mean? New York, the borough. You know what I mean? The state, rather. So, like 7 people got shot, but they was innocent bystanders. Like, oh, niggas can't shoot. You could just be outside the barbershop, outside the restaurant. You could just be chilling, walking your dog. Then 2 assailants would just come up, blasting guns at the ops, shoot 3 of the ops, but also shoot 7 bystanders. Then get away on some Gotham City shit with 2 other assailants on the scooters to pick them niggas up. Like, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. And the shit is crazy. Like, the scooters, the bikes, the masses, because of the virus. Like, a lot of this shit definitely add to the element of crime and criminal activity in a lot of these cities that I'm sure that have, like, this new wave of getting around. The mopeds that the city got, the city bikes, the regular electric bikes that a lot of people is getting nowadays. And niggas is moving around, like, you know what I mean? Like, even when you walking almost now, like, you know, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has experienced this in the last couple of weeks, last, you know, couple of months or whatever. But when you outside and you walking, you definitely got to keep your head on the swivel. Because you'll think it's safe from the cars and then get smacked by a bike. Somebody on the bike could come through, swipe you or hit you. You'd be like, oh shit, what the, you know what I mean? But y'all see what it is. You know what I mean? Let's stay prayed up. Let's stay vigilant. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's push a word to the right. You know what it is. It's Sunday Fun Day. Y'all see the thumbnail. Y'all know why y'all here. We gonna talk about, they say this is a big rich town, but that's not the intro. We gonna talk about episode 3, the recap, Raising Kanan. You know what I mean? Out the Power universe. And as the story unfolds, as the episodes, you know, start to wind out, you get to see more and more of, you know, how the writers are starting to develop the characters. And, you know, like Marvel, if you're a big Marvel fan, I know what it's like to lose. That's why I quote it all the time. They have some spectacular and great writers, because even in the new movies and scripts that they putting out, it kind of ties back into the old stuff. So if you're a fan and you go back and you watch some of the old movies, it has new meaning. You be like, oh, now I know why. So the same thing, you know, with Power and Raising Kanan, book 3 or whatever. And, you know, you get to see, obviously, how he became the man that he became, you know, and then ultimately why he chose the path he chose and then got murked. But in this episode, I want to point out a few things. The first thing I want to point out is, one, he knows something is not right. He know that his man, you know what I mean, didn't get murked for that. He was there. So that's a hunch he's sticking with it. A lot of times, not just street shit, just in general as human beings, we be having little intuitions that be telling us shit, or we feel that spidey sense, if you will, the bat senses is tingling, and you be like, nah, I see the twitch in his brow, or I see the way he shake your hand, something is not right. So he's going to do more digging. One, this was somebody that he was close to, so it's his man. So the story that came out, you know what I mean, he's about D-Wade, he's like, nah, this shit just don't sound right. And that's like if somebody come tell you something about one of your close friends, a family member, you know, somebody that you rock with like that, and they be like XYZ, and you be like, nah. You gonna, you know, you got to go with the story. You wasn't there initially, but as you play it back, as you start to ponder, you be like, nah, you know what I mean, such and such went and did that, or such and such, nah, that's not them. They don't move like that. I know them, or they would have really had to been pulling one over on me in a mad fast way, so like that shit was super secretive and you wouldn't know, you know what I mean? And you were questioning, like, do I really, you know what I mean? Would they do that? But anyway, that's number one. He's going with instinct. And, you know, I think once he found out ultimately, you know, that his Uncle Lulu did it, that his mom's was down, and, you know what I mean? Even though it was because of his actions, jumping out the window, doing some shit he wasn't supposed to do, this is the ultimate consequences. Like, once you do things and things is in motion, it's domino. Unless you go and run ahead of the domino and try to catch it, even if you was fast enough to do that or quick enough to do it, the dominoes that fell before you was able to stop it is still down. So it's still an action to every, you know what I mean? It's a reaction to every action. So, you know, I think that's what's going to turn him. Like, you know what I mean? Let the hounds loose, so to speak, or you already see him, you know, his talk crazy to his moms, but not too disrespectful because she is who she is. But, you know, at 15, obviously they revealed his age, but they been said his age. Like if you was following, you know, the storyline and as they was coming out talking about, you know, what the series was going to be about. They said 91, etc. Queens, 15-year-old Kanan. I wonder how long he's going to stay young before they jump forward, or will they drag it out, you know, through this whole first book or series about him. But another thing, you see he go talk to his Uncle Marv, like not like manipulating him, but his father is not around, obviously, and so out of the two uncles he choose, or it seems like has that, you know, that connection, or he vibe more with Uncle Marv, you know what I mean? So obviously he gave him the, you know, the drug, like it's been stepped on or it's been hit a little bit, so you can't even do nothing to it, you know what I mean? Just do it the way it is, and, you know, he let him in the game. And I think back, and a lot of us, if you were a certain age, you know, even if you in this age, you know, you're 20 or you're 19 or whatever, you have people that's around you that may not be doing the right things. They try to shield you, but they won't lie to you either. They'll definitely give you the real. And if you stumble upon them and ask XYZ, they'll even point you in that direction of not doing good. You know what I mean? The shit that they showing him. So instead of him saying, nah, woo, XYZ, he knee deep in the shits. He with his sister and his brother, so he not going to tell him to go to school and do shit like that. He going to show him the way and show him the best that he know, so that he can keep him safe and he don't get caught up in the fuck shit. So he like, XYZ, woo, give me back. You should make $100. You see the smile on his face at 15. And obviously when he made the sale, you know, ultimately he was like that feeling, like, you know what I mean? Like play the curve and get nauseous, watching the spin and that energy to win. He like, you know, that's when you get hooked, or it's that rush. It's like doing a robbery, or, you know, catching the Vic, or I guess selling some scout tickets, or anything really illegal that you get away with real quick, and you know there's a chance of you can go to prison or you could get caught. It's an adrenaline rush. It's that, you know what I mean? It's that endorphins is releasing. It's like, alright, that energy when you roll 4, 5, 6, like 4 times and niggas is doubting you. Yeah, that part. You know what I mean? Or just, you know, getting somebody. I spoke about the feeling a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot of different good feelings, and, you know, that energy to win, having a newborn, getting married, you know, having sex for the first time, things like that. You know what I mean? Getting the car you really wanted or whatever, paying your debt off, paying your house off. You know what I mean? So you can see he's excited, but it's also showing that he's he's relishing, like, you know, we see what he became. So this is the beginning of how he became addicted and the griminess and, you know, obviously how to survive out there in the New York Queens streets, you know what I mean, and live as long as he did through all of the griminess of his history and obviously his future that became, you know, his future. But without his pops, you see that's who he rock with, or that's who it seemed like he's gonna rock with. And then on the flip side, when you reverse it, like, let me reverse it, don't be whipped by that, whip that, yeah, that part. You see Jukebox, she going to holler at his moms, and in fact, they show both of those scenes, which is dope, that, you know, he coming in her house and Jukebox coming in his house. And he see, you know, Uncle Marv in her room, like, yo, what you doing here? Then she come in, she see, you know, her aunt in his room, but she don't ask what she doing in there. That's her house. She see her reading the obituary, you know, of WUEENS, you know what I mean? And then they sit down, you learn that they had previous nights of talking and bonding, and, you know, because her mother is not present, that's who she lean on. So, you know, you need two parents in the household, you know what I'm saying? And for those, you know, male childs that don't have the father around for whatever reasons, a lot of us end up knowing what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail. And that's because the pops is not present in the house. But that was a good dynamic. And like I said, the back-to-back scenes, first it was Kanan, then it was Jukebox, you know what I mean? And that dynamic. Another thing, you know what I mean, is like, we know she is street chick. She with the shit. She fully invested in the streets, and that's you know, Kanan moms, rock, you know, rock. And she got Symphony. Real quick, I'm gonna just throw this out there. It's something that obviously not really telling all of his story. I think he's a cop, an undercover, an agent, or something to that effect. Not because he knows about the buildings and, you know, he in school and all that shit. Not because of that. He just seemed a little, you know what I mean? Like, obviously he getting a lot of screen time. He getting a lot of bun action too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know when he seen the script, he was like, alright, yeah, good looking. You know what I mean? So he is getting a lot of screen time, I'll say that. But I mean, like, the character, you know, he's just the boy. He's the vacation, as she said. He's the vacation. But he tells, you know, they say why they like each other, why they rock with each other. You know, he like, you've been through a lot. It ain't really sound like I'm listening, I'm sitting there, I'm saying, all right, I get it, opposite attract, but you working in the club, you know what the shits is, because as soon as when they walk in, he like, oh yeah, whoever was moving, working there, I forget what it was, but he know it's drugs being sold in there, or it was. So he ain't no angel, you know what I mean? He got his ear to the street as the bartender. So he give us a little reason why he would have. Then she asked him, like, what's the better question? Why you like me? Why are you rocking with me? And he said what he said. But she said her answer. She like, you know, don't try to save me. And that's a lesson to fellas and, you know, men and women. Like, honestly, you know, you got to say at what level would you go to try to save a loved one or somebody you really rock with, especially if they telling you they don't want to be saved. And soon as when she said that, I thought of J. Cole's like, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Like, I want a real love. That aren't like, you know what I mean? And I'm saying, damn, well, she not giving up the game. We know that. So she like, I like you. You cool. You know about shit that I don't. You're not involved in my world. You live a life that I don't live, that I don't even know. So being with you is a distraction. It's a takeaway. It's a stress reliever. And obviously, he knocking it down crazy. Like, oh yeah, she like, you could be a profession at this shit. You could be a professor at college doing this shit you doing to me. And obviously, he rocking it. You know what I mean? So she getting a little open, and that's what she telling Jukebox. She don't know that it's a, you know, it's a woman on the other end of that smile, and we'll see how she feel about that when it comes out, if it comes out. So my takeaway, obviously, like I said, you need the two parents, obviously, but, you know, more, you know, zoned in or zeroed in on the male child. And that's why he rocking with his uncle, even though he got two. That's the one, like I said, who he seemed like he gonna have the bond with. And then obviously finding out that Lulu was the one that popped, you know, his man. I'm sure he's not gonna take that sitting well and knowing that his mom's had something to do with it. You know, saving somebody that don't want to be saved, Or even if you don't know that they don't want to be saved yet, at what length do you go through before you realize, like, yo, nah, I've been busting my head against the wall. Like, I've been beating the dead horse. Like, I'm doing the most and I'm not getting no results. All I'm getting is, you know, headache, strife, stress, going through the motions to try to help somebody or even slash save. You know what I mean? Somebody that don't want to be saved. They're going to do what they're going to do. That's why you see Lulu when he looked at his girl when they was coming out the joint, like, yo, you're going to do what you're going to do. And most of the time, adults are going to do what they're going to do. People are going to do what they're going to do. And that's why when you find real ones that stick to certain ethics, you know, I'm not going to even say street shit because that's bullshit. Talking about just rocking with people, having them, you know, having their interests, their best interests at heart, doing right by them, even if it's disagreeing with them sometime, but like that part, family ties, you got niggas back and you ain't going to snake them. That's what I mean. Integrity, loyalty, standing upon your word, not just selling your own soul just for, you know what I mean, some monetary gain, which, real quick, another thing, you know, the streets don't love nobody. I'm trying to think why they threw this in there when she went to see the Connect playing bingo. Then homie, it's like, you told to get a couple dollars, but ain't you making money? Like, that's what I be meaning, like, and I'm just speaking about integrity. Like, you with the Connect, obviously. You in the loop, you with him, whether security, however role you playing, you right next to the guy, you know what I mean? I forget his name, the other nigga from The Wire, you know what I mean? You right there next to him. So she coming to see the nigga you with. Then on the back end, while you walking her out or whatever, she whispers something, then they end up meeting up at the church or wherever they meeting up at. And he gave them the, you know, the location and all out of when the drop was going to be given. And for that, he got a couple dollars. But it's like, you making money already. You hitting both of them. Like the connecting was like, I'm getting both of y'all. I'm not getting involved in that. I'm going to keep business the way it is. And I'll let y'all handle that street corner shit. You know what I mean? She went there to get more work because he turned the faucet off. Why are you doing that? I don't even think how much money she said. You know what I mean? Like, I got a wife. I got a couple of other ladies. You know what I mean? No matter what it was, you get money. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's just show you the griminess and the extent for a quick buck, for a quick dollar, nigga will sell you out. You know what I mean? So, stay vigilant, stay woke. You already know what it is. It's your boy, POPAVIST. You're now tuned in, POPAVIST TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic. That feeling back up in here one more again. Yeah, kid.